So this video is for those of you that are fairly new to multiple myeloma, newly diagnosed, or somebody that you love has just been recently diagnosed. I was actually diagnosed in 2016. I couldn't find my gimbal, so hopefully this video is not too shaky. But anyway, so I was in really bad shape when I was diagnosed. Fractures all over my body, fractured vertebra, fractured ribs, L5 vertebra collapsed, lesions all over my body. And they told my wife that my skull looked like Swiss cheese. So, I was, like I said, I was in really bad shape. And I know that it's a really scary time for you, but I just wanted you to know that Dr. Google is not right on this. There's a lot of information on Google that is just absolutely incorrect. It's old information, and I'm trying to do this without my gimbal, like I said. So, and I'm actually sitting in the swamp behind my house there. I'm in Louisiana. But, with all that said, I live a relatively normal life. I'll say there's still consequences of all the damage to my body and the treatments and everything else. But I just wanted to let you know that there's hope. There's hope for a very, very fulfilling life. I've gotten to see my kids get older and get married and grandkids, and I own multiple businesses. I've gotten really involved with patient advocacy. If you've never heard of me before, hey, that's fine. I'm nobody. But I am the founder of the Multiple Myeloma Warrior Community Facebook group, and we started that March 27th of 23, and it's now April the 3rd, I think, of 25. I don't ever keep up what day it is. Anyway, we just hit 9,700 members today, so it's one of the largest Facebook groups for multiple myeloma in the world, and I'm blessed to be able to have so many new friends that I've met from all over the world, and we've just come together. And so as a new patient, somebody new to multiple myeloma, the first thing I'm going to tell you is get a specialist. If there's any way you possibly can, find a multiple myeloma specialist. If you don't have one, if you don't know how to find one, we can help you, through our multiple myeloma community, through the Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook, I'm also kind of the idea guy behind the Polygon Health Multiple Myeloma Patient Connect platform. And it's a map where you can connect with people all over the world with multiple myeloma, both patients and caregivers. We have treatment facilities on there. You can go to polygonhealth.app, and you can see that not only do we have this for multiple myeloma, we've actually launched this technology for some other diseases also, and bladder cancer and juvenile myositis, and very soon we'll have one for adult myositis. But anyway, right now there's a lot of information being thrown at you, and you're scared. I get it. I remember what that was like, and that's one of the reasons I do what I do, is to help give hope to people and dispel some myths. I think when I was diagnosed, Google said I had a 5-year life expectancy. I know people personally that have had multiple myeloma for over 30 years. And I'm treated at UAMS in Little Rock, and I know they have people with 35 years plus. Sorry, my arm's getting tired. That have been dealing with this. And even since I was diagnosed, there's all kinds of new treatments, and so many of us still work and live very fulfilling lives. And some people like me get involved in patient advocacy to try to help others. You're going to be hit with things like, stem cell transplants and all that. And there's so much misinformation out there about all this stuff. And then you're also going to have everybody is going to come up and say, well, my mechanic's wife's ex-husband's uncle's, dog groomer cured themselves with ivermectin and, sardines. or whatever it is, some kind of craziness. And let me tell you, I've talked to way too many people that have nearly died, and talked to a few widows and widowers where they tried to go a different path than the traditional therapies. You know, one of our members that has multiple myeloma, his wife had breast cancer. She tried to go to that whole path like that, using alternative therapies. Well, she left behind a loving husband and some kids. You know, some real good friends of mine, the husband has multiple myeloma. They fought it for about 5 years. They tried the alternative methods for, you know, years, and he was almost dead by the time I actually convinced them to go to UAMS. They were looking at it, and then they decided to back out, and somebody told me to call them, and I did. And I'll tell you that she actually, and she'll probably see this video, she actually called me one day and told me that I saved her husband's life because I convinced them to go there. And I'm not just talking about UAMS. I mean, I talk about them because that's my personal experience, but we have so many amazing treatment facilities all over this country and all over the world even. You know, and I don't know, you have to admit, in this situation, we're emotionally damaged. And we are susceptible to manipulation because we are searching for something. Why did this happen? What caused it? How do I get rid of it? Google says I've only got, you know, I think now they say 10 years with multiple myeloma. You know, and what am I going to do? This is terminal. And I've even seen some members in our group use that word terminal. No, it is not terminal. Many people live for many, many years with multiple myeloma. Sometimes they have to go through multiple levels of treatments. And I'll also address this. One of the common therapies for first-line therapies for stem cell transplant, for multiple myeloma, is stem cell transplants. Basically, they give you some drugs to get the myeloma under control. Then they give you a real heavy dose of chemo to basically, it's like you were pouring, you know, poison on your yard to kill everything, right? And they've already collected your own stem cells from you before they did that, and then they give you those stem cells back, and those stem cells turn into white cells and red cells. And I mean, obviously this is a very simplistic, and I'm probably butchering the explanation of it. I'm not a detail guy, I'm a big picture guy. But you know, it's tough. And you hear these horror stories, but you make up in your mind all this stuff, and it's what we make up in our mind, and that could be said about many aspects of life, is so much worse than what it actually is. I actually did tandem stem cell transplants. So I did 2 of them within less than 90 days of each other or so. And people ask me, so, well, my gosh, how horrible was that second one? Well, really, in some ways, it was a lot easier than the first one, just because I knew what to expect. It's just temporary. I just got to get to the other side of this. I'm going to feel bad for a while, and I'm going to get to the other side, just like probably hundreds of thousands of people before me. And I see people making decisions about things like stem cell transplants, or even going through the traditional treatments, because and they're looking for all these alternatives because they've heard these horror stories and they've made up in their mind how bad this is going to be. And honestly, it wasn't nearly what I expected. It wasn't nearly what I made up in my mind. And you know, stem cell transplants aren't for everybody. There are some people that have done very well with them. But the way I look at it is, we're only given a certain number of bullets to fight this monster. There is no other therapy that has more research, more track record than stem cell transplants. Even with all the new therapies that we have available to us now, we don't know the long-term effects of it. We just don't. I mean, and we won't for another 5 or 10 years maybe. You know, now there's, you know, drugs like Darzalex, the immunotherapy drugs, which I'm on now. You know, many people don't have any side effects from Darzalex. I'm one of the lucky ones that does, but it's not too bad. And, you know, now we've got the new CAR T therapy, and we just got so many more, and there's so many new breakthroughs. So just want to let you know that there is hope, and, you know, we do have these new therapies coming out. And, you know, before you just decide that, well, I'm not going down that path, I'm going to go, you know, my life's over and I'm just giving up, or before you say, well, you know, I'm just not going to do chemo and I'm not going to put that poison in my body, you know, because I'm going to do something else, just know that you're probably going to die. You're not going to do well with it, more than likely. I can't speak to any other cancer. All I can speak for is multiple myeloma and what I've seen from the hundreds, if not thousands of people I've dealt with since 2016. And, you know, so I believe in what works. And I'm an example of what works. You know, so, and there's a lot of other those examples too, and people that have been doing this a lot longer than I have. So anyway, I hope this helps you, and especially, you know, like I said, I know it's a scary time. Get involved with a community where you can talk to others that have been down this path before you. I highly recommend getting in support groups, getting in positive Facebook groups like the Multiple Myeloma Warrior Community. We always try to keep that very positive and uplifting. Some of these groups can absolutely be depressing. So, you know, I encourage you to do that. Get connected with others. Find other people in your community so you can have fellowship with them. Nobody understands like somebody that's been through it. And for those of you that are caregivers, just know we love you. In some ways, I think it's harder on y'all than it is the actual patients. So, you know, you too, get it connected with other people that are going through what you are. You know, as much as my wife has been close to me and as much as she has seen, I don't share everything with her. Not going to. She knows it. She don't want to hear it. I don't want to burden her with it. But I also don't understand what it's like to be her, as much as I try. You know, sometimes she maybe needs somebody to talk to that understand what it's like from her perspective. So anyway, love you all. Pray for you all regularly. And if you want me to keep making more content, just let me know. Thanks. Bye.